Hi, I'm Ariana.
And I'm Brandon. Welcome to The Nine, brought to you by the OPS Career Center TV broadcasting class.
In this edition of The Nine, we take you behind the scenes of a unique OPS medical class and the teacher that has made it all happen.
We'll introduce you to an unsung hero behind the musical instruments of OPS.
We'll also take a look at the never-ending rivalry between paper towels and air hand dryers.
And we'll look into the way teens sleep. Do they have enough sleep at night?
It's all coming up in this edition of The Nine.
Teenagers need a certain amount of sleep, but it seems as though they never get enough. Why is this? Walk into any classroom and you'll probably find students struggling to stay awake. This is due to their lack of sleep.
On average, probably like 6 hours a night.
6 hours is not enough sleep for teens. According to the National Sleep Foundation, teens need 8.5 to 9.5 hours to function best. Career Center teacher Ryan Hunter explains students' sleeping expectations versus reality.
I think what they should sleep is about 8. What are they realistically sleeping? Probably something less than that. I would say probably in the vicinity of 5.5 to 6 hours.
What keeps teens awake at night? Students stay on their electronics as much as they can, staying awake until they just can't keep their eyes open.
I stay on pretty late, and then usually when my eyes get tired, I just pass out.
However, students are not the only ones affected by this overstimulus.
I think it does a little bit. I just tend to have issues with sleeping just for the same reasons, just overstimulated.
The National Sleep Foundation finds that the amount of sleep teenagers get affects their efficiency in the classroom. A lack of sleep limits their ability to learn, concentrate, and solve problems. The foundation also finds that a lack of sleep makes you prone to pimples. Mr. Hunter did an informal sleep study to see how much it affects the students.
Just to see what, was going on the night before that dictated how they, basically how they felt the next day, and sleep definitely played a part in that. I think that when students did get around 7.5 to 8 hours, they were doing pretty well as far as their focus and their, ability to stay awake.
So if you're a student who's struggling to stay awake in class, make sure you get enough sleep to stay energized throughout the day.
So what do you do if you try to get more rest, but you have trouble going to sleep at night?
Well, according to the website helpguide.com, there are some simple things you can try. First, set a regular bedtime and make sure you wake up at the same time every day.
Then nap to make up for lost sleep, but make sure you are smart about napping.
Finally, fight the after-dinner drowsiness and make sure you don't watch any scary movies, just in case.
Teaching high school students can be tough, but not as hard as putting out fires and saving lives. One OPS teacher has been on both sides. Here's Marcus with the story.
To get a real feel for what it's like to work in the world of a paramedic, why not take the role of a patient? Career Center EMT teacher Chris Gregor gave me a first-hand look by putting me on a stretcher. Gregor was a firefighter for 25 years and a paramedic for 18 years. That experience eventually led him to the Career Center, where he now teaches students to become paramedics in the EMT class.
Teaching paramedic stuff and EMTs is really easy. I think the schedule is a lot better. As I said, firefighting is a 24-hour day shift, where teaching's an 8-hour shift, and I'm teaching and motivating young people to go out and learn how to help people, and I enjoy it very much.
It's a job that can be very rewarding when saving lives and helping people, but Gregor often tells his students about difficult times he had as a paramedic to help them realize that the EMT field can be stressful.
The one that pops into my head is when we had a man on a roof stabbing himself, and the police officers were trying to talk him down off of it, and we were just there waiting for him to be captured.
Whatever the experiences, many of Gregor's students say that it helps them get the real feel of being a paramedic.
This class has helped me progress into being full-time on the fire service. One requirement is I need an EMT to start the fire department. So this class being free and easily available for me to do gets me one step further to being a firefighter.
Gregor has so far enjoyed being the Career Center EMT teacher, and he hopes to continue teaching for a long time.
Specific medicines they might have taken?
This is Marcus reporting for The Nine.
Gregor says when he's teaching students about EMT techniques, it brings back a lot of memories, both good and bad. Either way, he hopes the students can learn from his experiences.
There are hundreds of musical instruments being played around OPS on any given day, But what happens when they are broken or need a tune-up? Kylie went to the one and only Omaha Public School instrument repair guy to find out.
Welcome to the Career Center. There's something I'd like to show you. Deep within the bowels of the Career Center lies Eric Hates, the OPS instrument repairman.
I was always in music all through high school between bands and choir and things like that. And my stepdad is a mechanic, so I kind of took those two things and put them together, and this is what you end up with.
With marching band season coming up, Eric will be quite busy all summer.
Kids are going up and down bleachers and carrying instruments out on the field, and they get dropped and fall down bleachers, and kids fall on top of them, and that's usually the worst time of the year.
Looking around, you'll see all sorts of old instruments in parks and piles and drawers. Even with all these parks and instruments, sometimes even he can't fix it.
Sometimes there are old enough instruments that I can't order parts for them anymore. So that's when I come diving into this or to that pile over there and see if I can find the right model, because a lot of the times they're not a universal part. Most of the times they're not a universal part. They're brand specific. And if it's a brand that's been out of production for, 30 or 40 years, I can't get parts for them anymore.
Although there are some times it might seem frustrating, Eric still enjoys his job.
I like taking something that people thought would probably be trash and turning it into something that a student would be able to play, handing it to a student and actually, watching them possibly go and pursue a music career.
We all have our own preferences when it comes to drawing our hands. Trends in schools favor cheaper options, but they may not focus on what the student's body really wants. Here's Blake with the investigative story.
When you're in the bathroom, nobody wants to waste more time than they have to, especially when it comes to drying their hands.
I strongly prefer paper towels. I find most air dryers are just painfully slow when it comes to drying your hands.
Marcus feels if bathrooms only offer one method of drying your hands, people will avoid the situation altogether.
Out of 10 guys that would come into the bathroom, probably 7 of them wouldn't wash their hands. They would just leave.
Everyone can agree, a lack of hygiene isn't the way to go either.
It's kind of gross.
So which way people prefer to dry their hands? I find most people prefer to use paper towels. Air dryers just seem to lack the speed.
It's just faster than a blow dryer. You just get a couple of them, dry your hands, and that's the end of it.
Even if that requires grabbing more than one paper towel. Many people agree it takes more than 5 paper towels to fully dry their hands.
I grab about 6 or 7.
All throughout elementary school, they kept saying 1, but me, I'd take like 6 of them, so yeah.
Although people would agree paper towels can be wasteful, several people I spoke with would still rather use them than an air dryer.
And I have a personal protest against weak air dryers. I think they actually encourage people to not wash their hands because people don't have the patience to sit there for like a minute drying their hands, so they just don't.
Although, nothing is perfect, and even paper towels have disadvantages.
I think that's one of the big drawbacks of paper towels. People make a mess. It drives me crazy. Sometimes you'll see paper towels just laying all around the trash can.
So which is better? Both may be around for a while. This is Blake reporting for the OPS Career Center.
So it's up to you to decide, paper towels or air dryers. That's it for this edition of The 9. Thanks for watching.
We hope you have a great summer, and be sure to watch for more shows from the OPS Career Center in the upcoming school year.
See you later.
And keep it cool, Omaha.
Wow. Ratchet. And she's ugly too.
Guys, she's coming.
Hi! How are you? I like your top.
Oh my god, girl, I love your outfit. Where did you get it from?
It's so you. I wish it could be me.
Just because someone can't hear you doesn't mean it's not bullying.
Hey there, I'm Cole.
And I'm Maria. Welcome to the Chatterbox, coming to you from the OPS Career Center TV studio.
In this show, we'll look into the craze over ebooks. Are they taking over the reading world? We'll take a look at one of the summer's most popular hairstyle trends.
We'll introduce you to an OPS teacher who has an unusual condition. He can't test a thing. But first, we begin our show with a look at an issue that affects students everywhere: sleep.
It seems like teens are getting less and less sleep all the time. But why? The Chatterbox's Michelle went on a mission to find out. And look how a lack of sleep affects them.
It's the middle of the day, so why is Eve sleeping? Like many teens, he didn't get enough rest the night before. Guadalupe knows the feeling.
Yeah, especially in school.
Guadalupe usually gets home from work around 10, and it takes a while to get to bed.
Because when I get home, the only thing I do is take a shower, eat, and go to sleep.
By the time she wakes up for school, she's often only had 5 hours of sleep. Researchers say that's not good. Teens should get 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. It's not something Cole usually gets.
I am tired throughout most of the day. As soon as I get to school, all I want to do is sleep in class.
Here's a problem with that. If you don't get the required amount of rest, it can cause your brain to slow down. It can cause a lack of concentration and decrease your ability to remember things you learned in class. It can also cause you to gain weight and give you an aged look. But some teens feel they need to have a job even though it causes them to lose sleep.
Students should work and go to school because it gets them on the track of being a grown person.
So what's keeping students awake who don't have jobs? TV, texting, Twitter, you name it. Electronics keep many teens up far later than they should be. So the solution to more sleep could be as simple as pushing a power button a little earlier. This is Michelle reporting for the Chatterbox.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to go through your life without being able to taste the meal that you eat? Marian and I met an OPS teacher who lives with an everyday dilemma.
Thomas Allen has been teaching at Bryan High for about 12 years. One thing the students do not know about him is that he can't taste a thing.
Well, for about 3 years, the only thing I ate for lunch was raviolis, right out of the can.
For Mr. Allen, one of the advantages of not being able to taste is that he can eat all kinds of things that other people want.
And I mix everything together. It doesn't really matter to me what it looks like or anything, it's the texture of it. A lot of people go by looks, they go by smell. I go by how it feels in my mouth. I want a little crunch, I want a little bit of softness, okay? But there's two things I will not eat. I will not eat Jell-O, and I will not eat marshmallows.
There are definitely disadvantages to not being able to taste.
I wish I could taste steak. I wish I could taste corn.
And even though he can't taste, there's some food that he just doesn't care for.
I don't care for asparagus, okay? Just don't like the texture of it. There's just some things that just don't feel good.
So then, next time you take a bite out of your favorite food, be thankful you can taste it, because there's some people who never get the chance to. I'm Maria with your OPS Chatterbox.
Imagine repairing a musical instrument. Hard, right? Now imagine repairing instruments for a whole school district.
Believe it or not, there's one OPS repairman who does just that. Sean went on a mission to get in tune with this unique man and his job.
Meet Eric Heitz. Heitz repairs instruments for the whole OPS district. So how does someone wind up with this type of job?
It's kind of a funny story. I've always been in music my whole life, choir and playing in bands and things like that. And my stepdad is a mechanic. He runs a mechanic shop. So I kind of took those two worlds and put them together, and this is what you end up with.
Eric has a lot of instruments to fix, and sometimes he needs to make tough decisions.
People say, I need this done 2 days from now. So I have to then decide, is this more important than this person who brought their instrument in to be repaired 2 weeks ago? Does the person who brought it in 2 weeks ago have a student that's sitting there not doing anything in their classroom because they don't have an instrument? If they do, that person comes first.
Berg orchestra teacher Norm Edwards is a common client for Eric.
Eric's always really nice about it. He'll take us out of the order of what he has waiting to be repaired when there's emergencies, and he's very reliable and helps us out a lot with that.
Eric has his busy points during the year.
There are a lot. There's about 3,500 instruments that the district owns that I have to work on. So at any given time, I usually have a backlog of about 30 to 40 instruments that need to be repaired. haven't gotten to yet. So this being at the end of the year right now, it's kind of my time to, I tell everyone I'm not taking any more instruments, and I try to catch up on those 30 to 40 instruments so that I'm done. When summer hits is when I get the busiest. In that area on the other side of my shop, there will be 1,100 instruments that are coming back that I have to service over the summer.
As you can see, Eric is a very busy guy, but where would OPS Music be without him? This is Sean reporting for the Chatterbox.
The craze for Air Jordans and other fancy types of shoes are in full effect. But why exactly? Why do people spend hundreds of dollars each year on shoes? It's a logo that shoe fans all around the world recognize, the Jumpman. Michael Jordan's famous shoe line has generated a huge craze over the past 2 decades.
Well, since I was a little kid, everybody started wearing Jordans, so I want to be cool, so I started wearing Jordans.
But what makes these shoes so significant? For Raul, it's more than just the looks.
The way Michael Jordan showed them off, everybody was so excited on sneakers. Now it's all hyped up. So sneakers are nowadays.
Some find this craze over Jay's rather ludicrous.
I wish students would focus on their schooling as hard and intensely as they do about their Jordans. I do not understand the craze, but there is definitely a craze.
Raul sees this craze as a way of financial income.
They sell shoes on eBay, people buy them, and they just make money out of that.
He buys shoes at retail price, which are right around $120 to $200, and raises the price because there is a limited supply.
Try to get multiple pairs of the same shoe and sell them for a higher price. Eventually, the shoe will go up in higher price due to the fact that it sells out in stores.
But Jordans aren't the only shoes he collects and sells.
Nike SBs, I have Asics, New Balances, Sauconys, Kobe's, LeBron's, Kevin Durant's. It's not just about Air Jordans. There's other shoes that are just as good as Air Jordans. Just they're not known to be hyped up as Jordans since everybody just goes for Jordans.
But for Hypebeast, Jordans are the only way to go. At least for now. This is Cole reporting for the Chatterbox.
Ebooks are rapidly changing the market of the books in the U.S., but many believe this is a good thing, but others think differently. We sent our Iron Man Sam to get the story.
Ebooks are rapidly changing the way people read. Eduardo is one of those people. He uses his phone as his ebook.
I have on my Samsung. I've tried it and I really enjoy it actually. You know, I don't really have to carry around the book with me. I can just pull out my phone and start reading whenever I have time.
Career Center English teacher Stan Shaw doesn't use ebooks in class, but he does use them for personal reading. He thinks ebooks provide a lot of good options for readers, such as the dictionary function.
And if I'm reading something, I can tap a word and the definition of the word comes up instantaneously. So I think that'd be a great benefit for students.
Also thinks it would be cheaper for schools to use the ebooks in class, but he would be concerned about people losing them.
The one major downside would be if you lost your ebook, because you would have a whole bunch of books stored on there, and that could be very expensive to replace all of those.
It would be a good addition, but it's not necessary, at least not yet. I don't think so. But yeah, you know, it'd be fun.
Deanna is a Barnes & Noble worker who isn't quite sold on the ebooks.
Drifted into the ebook generation, and I'll admit it is a lot more easy. It's easier to carry around, but I don't like the fact that I have to worry about a battery when I'm reading.
So are ebooks the way of the future? Only time will tell. I'm Iron Man Sam with the Chatterbox.
When it comes to hairstyles this summer, there are all sorts of new trends on the way. One of the most popular styles we're seeing more and more of is weaves and extensions. The Chatterbox's Precious has more.
If you know a lot about hair, you should know that there are a lot of products that needs to be used. You might be confused looking at a package of extensions, but you have to know it's a certain technique on how the hair is attached. This is how they are attached. I did it for my aunt. So why are weaves so popular now?
I don't like my real hair. I like longer hair.
How often do they get weaves?
Year round.
The cost?
$300.
Some people just don't care for it at all.
To be honest with you, I'm not really attracted to girls who wear weave.
And then there's the people who loves it, like Mr. Hunter.
I have to say I really like it.
Here is one of the hairstyles I did for myself using the same technique as a twist. Thanks for listening to the Transitions of Hair in Omaha.
We have all taken a picture before, but what goes into making a truly terrific photo? Do we need a sixth sense of some sort? Here's Eve with the story.
When you take a look at a photo, you may see only a general picture, but photography professionals and students can tell a story.
What makes this image maybe look a little bit more successful than a lot of other images or things like that you would see is that she used a kind of a low perspective. Looking at nature from a down perspective is a view that you don't always take time to look at.
Career Center photography students work hard to excel at photography. We asked Maggie to break this photo down for us.
I see someone actually had to work really hard to get these photos and give them props and get the right lighting and sitting them in the right direction and how you take the photo and what angle you take it.
They'll even tell you that no one takes pictures the same.
Kind of, not really. Everyone has their own style.
I think everyone can see them different, but they just don't try.
Students go above and beyond to expand their creativity, developing a photo called a hologram.
Well, it's basically two pictures, but like you put them like opposite, so that way like you can like hologram it, so you can see both of them.
Ask a one-click photographer like me, and I might say they even have a sixth sense.
Not a sixth sense. I think I have to rely on the other 5 to kind of get a good take on my environment.
Just perspective of a photo. I just see photos differently than my sister or my friend does.
So next time you're taking a photo, don't think of it as a picture. Think of it as your way of telling a story. This is Eves reporting for the Chatterbox.
That's it for this edition of the Chatterbox. Thanks for watching.
We hope you have a great summer and be sure to watch for more shows from the OPS Career Center in the upcoming school year.
Bye.
See ya, guys.
In the Automotive Technology program, you learn what it takes to keep today's cars and trucks up, running, and on the road.
That means you learn about everything from fuel systems and flats to steering systems, suspensions, engine performance, and more. And because this is an academy program, you can also take math and English classes here at the Career Center.
If you love cars, but paint and polish is more your style, come down and check out the Career Center's Automotive Collision Repair and Refinishing program.
As a student here, you combine theory and practical hands-on experience in automotive panel repair and alignment, welding, adhesives, glass installation, and paint refinishing. The Career Center's professional ASE certified staff teach the classes using industry standards.
In the Career Center's Motorsports Repair program, you get an introduction to small engine repair, like those in motorcycles and ATVs. As you learn the ins and outs of small engines, you move on to advanced engine repair, such as fuel systems, exhaust systems, ignition starters, and transmissions. In the process, we teach you about several different welding styles used in the industry. In the Career Center's commercial design class, you develop an idea and learn how to transform that idea into a portfolio quality visual graphic. These graphics include posters, logo designs, cartoons, greeting cards, advertising brochures, and even magazine covers. You learn the art of commercial design both by hand and through the use of professional programs like Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. In the Construction Academy, it's all about hands-on training. Students here use professional tools and equipment. You learn the ins and outs of the trade by building projects from the small to the large.
Students in the Academy portion of the class take English and math classes at the Career Center.
and learn how those subjects apply to the construction industry. Students also study what it takes to build a career in construction management.
Join our culinary skills class and you can sharpen your culinary and baking skills by learning the art of gourmet food preparation. As you cook on the Career Center's commercial-grade restaurant equipment, you learn the finer side of food by creating dishes worthy of 4-star restaurants. You'll cater to hungry clients in the Career Center's unique bistro, and you'll have the opportunity to compete in major culinary competitions. Our popular Health Occupations course is designed to give you the opportunity to become a state-licensed certified nursing assistant and give you the training you need to be employed in long-term care facilities. You learn to provide safe, effective, and caring service to patients in a long-term setting. As a health student at the Career Center, you have the opportunity to be part of the UNMC Health High School Alliance.
Tap them both up and put them back on the ice.
The Alliance is a partnership between the University of Nebraska Medical Center and public school districts in the greater Omaha area. The idea of the Alliance is to offer unique and innovative science classes to high school juniors and seniors. As a student in the Alliance, you have the opportunity to observe, shadow, and work alongside world-renowned healthcare professionals and researchers at UNMC.
Here at the Career Center's EMT class, you can gain valuable experience on what it's like to be an emergency medical technician.
Shock advised. You learn to respond to medical emergencies and develop skills in the areas of ambulance operation, trauma assessment, triage, hazardous materials, and pediatric emergencies. If you're up to the challenge, students who qualify have the opportunity to test for the National Registry EMT exam.
Also in the area of medicine is the Career Center's Sports Athletic Training class. This class is designed for students interested in career fields like athletic training, physical therapy, medicine, fitness, nutrition, and other sports medicine-related fields.
Here in the Career Center's award-winning photography program, it's all about the visuals. As a student here, you're immersed into the professional world of photography by studying the finer points of lighting and composition. You create professional-grade images through digital cameras and computer-based photo enhancement programs. This is a hands-on, project-oriented class where problem-solving and multitasking is a must. If you've ever turned on the radio and wondered how all the programming and music gets on the air, join the radio broadcasting class and you'll learn it all firsthand. You learn to use those skills with industry-standard audio recording and editing equipment. As a student, you have the opportunity to work in and around KIOS 91.5 FM, a fully functioning radio station that's been on air for more than 40 years. Students independently create and produce programs that air on KIOS. At the Career Center's TV broadcasting program, we train you by putting you to work in a fully functioning TV studio.
You have the opportunity to work on a number of student-produced television programs.
We'll also teach you how to create professional video productions. You'll create videos including commercials, video news reports, and music videos.
If you want to try your hand at television sports broadcasting, you can take on the role of announcer, camera operator, or director at OPS sporting events. Ever been in a classroom that's a real zoo? Well, I bet you haven't been in one quite like the Career Center's Honor Zoology program. These students are at the Honor Zoology program. They actually take these classes at the Omaha Henry Doorly Zoo and work side by side with zookeepers. As a student here, you study all things animals, emphasizing evolutionary and ecological relationships.
Before we go, let's give you some answers to questions students often have about the Career Center. First, transportation is free. All you have to do is get on the designated Career Center bus at your school, and the bus will get you to class.
You can start taking several Career Center classes as a sophomore, and nearly all of our classes accept juniors and seniors. As a student here, you also have the opportunity for job shadowing, internships, and even college credit in many classes.
If you're interested in signing up, all you have to do is talk to your guidance counselor.